Welcome back to my channel. I'm Joanna, and this is actually a video that I shared on the wonderful world of YouTube many years ago on my other channel, the Small Scape, where I do nano aquaria. So that if this looks familiar, if you know me from that channel, that's why, but I thought it would be very appropriate to share it on this channel as well, because it can be very beginner friendly. And those of us who love to thrift, I thrifted this basket, and I also thrifted the bowl, which was kind of like a large glass salad bowl. What I also like to use for miniature ponds are punch bowls. You can get them 2 gallon, 5 gallon, which is a decent size. And I used various little house plants that I probably got from, I'm thinking Lowe's, though it's usually my favorite place to get little house plants. And you can pick your assortment. I planted only half of it, so I kept half of it in the bowl. I'm going to put aquarium plants in, which can be super fun. And then on the outside here, I lined it with a black garbage bag, added some soil, and then just included a few house plants, and of course some preserved moss, which just looks like grass and is just kind of an adorable little addition to any miniature anything. The bowl is very small. I want to say it was just maybe about a gallon or a gallon and a half, so very limited. If you actually want to put living inhabitants in here, you can. I will link my Smallscape channel so you could learn a little bit about that. You do need to add water conditioner if you're going to be keeping little critters in there, along with your your tap water. You need to know what kind of water parameters you have. There are a number of things that you need to consider. And then inhabitants, very, very limited with this tiny of a vessel. So I have Heterangia formosa, which are actually super tiny. They're like the 7th smallest freshwater fish. And then also just 2 or 3 little Neocaridina shrimp, which are super tiny, like half an inch. They're super small. Some aquarium sand on the bottom. I wanted to just be very simple and kind of lifelike. And I did add a small air stone, which they sell these on Amazon, and they have USB, like a little pump, and it'll power it with either a USB connection or you can plug it in, battery operated. They have a number of different kinds. I added just a like piece of driftwood and some small rocks. I kept it very, very simple, and I just thought this was really fun to have on the kitchen table. This type of little pond can also be made to go outside, but I would, especially in the summer, I'm in the Chicagoland area, you want to keep it out of direct sun because this small of water will heat up very, very quickly. And then Anubias was my plant of choice. If you are a gardener and you're not familiar with aquarium plants, it's a whole other world that you are missing out on. And Anubias is my favorite aquatic plant, but there are multiple different other ones, including even, see those little floating plants? Some Salvinia, really cute. You don't have to have the air stone. You don't have to have air going into there. I just wanted some water circulation. And you also don't have to have inhabitants. There's also other inhabitants that you could possibly consider in something like this, and that would be some sort of a snail. In the aquarium world, there's mystery snails, which can come in different colors. There are nearite snails, just a whole variety, a whole other world that I recommend that you check out. Or you could just keep it totally simple and just fill up this vessel, be it a bowl like I'm using, or you could use, like I said, like a punch bowl that you thrift for just a few dollars, fill it with water, and just have some little aquatic plants. There are also a number of plants that you can get at the department stores, Lowe's, your home improvement store or garden center of your choosing, that can actually be either in like a bog condition where you keep the soil really, really moist, or directly in the water. Like the roots. The roots are in the water, and everything else, like the leaves, are out of water. The peace lily is frequently used in aquariums, and you can actually remove all the soil, put it into the water, and it's just a beautiful little addition, especially for those of us who love miniature everything. So if you are a miniature gardener, consider having a pond and look into aquarium plants, especially floating plants, I think would be a lot of fun. They come in a very small scale, so even if you have a small pond like this, and then you can use little pieces of driftwood or rocks, little plants like I did. So I hope you enjoy this inspiration and maybe you give it a shot. And then if you do have any questions, just leave me a question. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.